I have a very eminent speaker whom I really admire, Dr. Pavan Duggal with me. Sir, we're very, very glad to have you and honored to have you here.
Thank you for this opportunity. Good morning, good evening, good night, depending on where you are in the world. It's a pleasure to be joining this particular event live from Delhi. I have a small presentation, so I thought let me share my presentation and share what I see on the horizon as what I see are the major trends emerging. So I'm trying to get my presentation and hopefully that should also be working. So when I look at the trends of today, I'm looking at cybersecurity trends and the new cyber world order. It's a very, very different world altogether that we are living in. But before I get started, just to give you an introduction, I am the chairman of the International Commission on Cybersecurity Law. I'm working as an international expert on cyber law, cybercrime, cybersecurity, and emerging technologies as well. I've been associated with the Government of India and its various committees and ministries for the last more than 2 decades. And I have been also extensively writing. Over the last 27 years, I've written 184 books on various issues of cyberspace and cyber legal scenarios. So today, I'm going to talk about the new cyber world order that's growing and how it's impacting cybersecurity and its regulation as we go forward. First and foremost, the recent news. The recent news has been that, well, flights got grounded in the US for a technical glitch. Was that a technical glitch or was that something more? We'll have to wait and watch. But clearly, a lot of people are anticipating this to be a cyber attack, though this has been denied by the authorities. But then, how coincidental is it that apart from the US, you also find on the same timelines, Canada's air alert system was also disrupted. Now, this basically shows a broader picture that's emerging on the horizon. And this is an emerging picture which is already emanating from the existing ground realities, which is to say that there are increasing cyber attacks growing all across the world. And whether it's attacks on India's premier hospital, being the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, whether it's attack on companies or on 6,000 customers' data as per Norton's LifeLock, or even the data of about 2.5 billion Google Chrome users, which is under potential risk. What is this telling us? It's telling us that the golden age of cybercrime has already arrived. This golden age of cybercrime is going to be with us for the next many decades. It's begun with the coming of COVID-19, but it's not stopping. And one thing is emerging is that whether it's work from home, whether it's the new ground realities post-COVID-19, the fact is we are already entering into a new cyber age, where cyber legal jurisprudence is evolving at a very fantastic space. And the first thing is that new part of this new cyber world order is that states are consolidating their powers. More and more states have passed legislations during COVID-19 times, which have aimed at ultimately strengthening the hands of nation states. Look at this list and it tells you a brief idea of how things are evolving in terms of stronger nations. Cybersecurity breaches are now the new default normal of this new cyber world order. And growing cyber crimes will be our constant companion. These will be 3 important elements that's going to be accompanying us in our digital lives, not only in 2023, but even far beyond. Further, I'm beginning to see increasing use of artificial intelligence, which is being used for perpetuating cybersecurity breaches. I was just this morning seeing a video which was made by artificial intelligence in less than 10 minutes, which looked extremely real. So use of AI for breaching cybersecurity is now going to be the new big headache for stakeholders. Already, the world is reeling under the impact of ransomware, and this will continue in a larger sense in 2023 and beyond. Every 11 seconds, one company is becoming a victim of ransomware attacks by the end of 2022. And by the end of 2023, we should be seeing that every 9 seconds, a company should be becoming a victim of a ransomware attack. Well, the world has been bleeding. 2021, the world lost more than $6 trillion thanks to cybersecurity breaches. Come the end of 2022, we've already estimated to have lost more than $8 trillion thanks to these cybersecurity breaches. And therefore, when these kind of bleedings are happening on the digital economy, the time has come that cybersecurity regulation will have to be the new mantra for nation states. But when I look at the global scenario, I find that there is no international legal framework in this regard. Way back in the WSIS forum in 2015 at Geneva, I had argued and put forward the need for having in place an international convention on cyber law and cybersecurity. But the year was 2015. The idea was much ahead of its times, and therefore nation states were not willing to bite. But come again, as we go forward now in 2022 and 23, we find that the same idea is now being perpetuated and taken forward by the UN Ad Hoc Committee on Cybercrime, which is currently now negotiating an international convention to prevent the misuse of information and communication technologies for criminal purposes. And this convention is going to be taking some time. It'll be by 2024 that the ad hoc committee should finish its work. But lo and behold, it'll take much more longer for the states to finally agree whether they want to agree these scenarios or not. So what happens? Internationally, it's a gray zone. No international cybersecurity law or treaty in place. So that's the reason why countries are saying, hey guys, I'm no longer waiting. I am going to come up with my own dedicated national laws on cybersecurity. And lo and behold, in the absence of these global norms on cybersecurity, countries are coming up with very broad and very comprehensive national laws on cybersecurity. Look at this list of continuously growing number of nations who have already come up with their national cybersecurity laws. Leading the pack is China. Apart from there is Russia, Vietnam, Thailand, Australia, Singapore, Egypt, Germany, Zimbabwe, and even Macau and Taiwan. And mind you, each of these national cybersecurity laws are bringing their own specifically new distinctive powers and manifestations. In addition, I'm also seeing a new approach on data breach notifications, where I find that by and large, the countries are coming up with the dedicated laws on mandating cybersecurity breach reporting. You don't report it, and it actually becomes an offense in some jurisdictions. In the European Union, they have also now come up with guidelines of 2021 on examples of personal data breach notification. Different countries, different approaches on cybersecurity law, whether it's the UK, whether it's Myanmar, whether it's Jantar Now regulation coming up with a new cybersecurity law, or whether it's a new cybersecurity regulation that the European Union is currently proposing. All said and done, the fact remains is that the trends are that countries are going to keep on expanding their national cybersecurity legal frameworks. And countries are beginning by mandating incident reporting for cybersecurity breaches. Timeframes are changing. From the Western countries who say report in 72 hours to India, who says report within 6 hours of coming to know about cybersecurity breaches. So different approaches on this regard. But then as I see forward in the year 2023 and beyond, I believe that cybersecurity legal frameworks are likely to become far more comprehensive, more robust, and more encompassing. And therefore, more and more countries are increasingly going to join the bandwagon for cybersecurity national regulation. Further, in addition, I'm finding a new trend. Countries are now coming up with the specific cybersecurity legal norms for specific verticals. whether it's critical information infrastructure, whether it's government, banking, financial sectors, insurance, energy, power, and the corporate sector at large. Further, in addition, I'm also seeing a new trend where countries are saying, apart from my national cyber security laws, I'm coming up with my own distinctive rules and regulations in the form of secondary legislation to address various issues of cyber security. And therefore, these particular trend of growing regulations is going to be one of the important trends for us to effectively decipher in the year 2023. Why is this going to happen? Because cyber attacks are increasing, and countries are saying that a cybersecurity breach is no longer just a breach. It actually tantamounts to an attack on the country's cyber sovereignty, as also its sovereign interest in cyberspace. And therefore, countries are now coming up with new legal frameworks to enhance the scope, ambit, and applicability of this cyber sovereignty concepts per se. Most of the countries have already taken one basic, broad level position, which is that cybersecurity is part of their national security. And that being so, this is not going to brook any kind of interference from any foreign ecosystem. Further, with effective use of artificial intelligence for committing cybersecurity breaches, we will now see new challenges. How do we attribute this cybersecurity breach to a particular AI algorithm? And if so, even if we do so, how can we move further? How can we give more culpability, more penal provisions for the actual generator of artificial intelligence algorithm? So for that, we will have to come up very quickly with enabling legal frameworks on artificial intelligence, recognizing artificial intelligence. Why? Because now AI is growing at a phenomenal pace. And AI is increasingly now being used not just for committing cyber crimes and cybersecurity breaches, but is also being used for the purposes of even hiding the electronic footprints of those very activities which tantamount to cybersecurity breaches. So that's one big area that's waiting for nations to jump in, which is the intersection of artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. In addition, I'm beginning to find a new trend where edge security is now becoming my new cutting edge immediate priority. As post-COVID, I'm seeing more and more devices getting connected to the edge, and therefore edge security becomes of crucial necessity. Metaverse is already raising its hands to say, hey guys, I'm the new kid on the block. And apart from other things, you'll have to regulate me, but more significantly, you will also have to come up with the legal regulations for governing the protection of cybersecurity in the context of the metaverse per se. Web 3.0 is alive and kicking, and that's going to be very heavily dependent on how the cybersecurity of Web 3.0 is going to be effectively legally regulated. On top of it, we already have now digital humans that we are intrinsically relying upon. It's not just a Thanos in the Infinity Endgame film. It's now all these kinds of digital avatars on the metaverse. And therefore, whether it's now the new avatars on the avatar picture, more and more reliance on digital humans means this year, countries will be busy trying to regulate digital humans. In addition, digital twins have already arrived. And therefore, the need will come for not just regulating digital twins, but also ensuring that the cybersecurity of digital twins is also appropriately protected as we go forward. On top of it, we are all today relying upon digital assets. They will continue to keep on growing and consolidating, but the cybersecurity of digital assets will please be playing a very important role for us. Therefore, these hacks on these crypto assets and crypto exchanges will continue. We will also now see more hacks on the Internet of Things, and specifically now Internet of Behavior, because the world is still not unanimous as to how the principles of cybersecurity need to be looked at in the context of Internet of Things and now Internet of Behavior. Thanks to the US Federal IoT Cybersecurity Improvement Act, there has been some movement forward. And I expect more of these IoT regulations in the year 2023 in different countries as we move forward. Well, while that's happening, there's going to be maturity of blockchains as a paradigm. So more and more countries will increasingly start coming up with legal frameworks to regulate blockchains, including crypto assets, cryptocurrencies, including whether to grant them legality in the particular national jurisdictions or not. But how does the world deal with the dark net? That's still $1 million question that's not been answered, because the dark net is giving you complete anonymity. And that being so, it's a big question of how to attribute the cybersecurity breaches and cyber crimes emanating from the dark net to specific actors. So I believe as we go forward in the year 2023, I would see more consolidation of mindsets, more adoption of holistic approaches, which are aimed not just at protecting stakeholders, but also going ahead and making them avoiding becoming victims of cyber crimes and cybersecurity breaches. Hence, as we go forward, cyber resilience and digital transformation will have to be a mantras that will be guiding all stakeholders in the year 2023 and beyond. Further, legal, policy, and regulatory issues concerning internet, emerging technologies, and the new emerging technological paradigms will have to be appropriately addressed for making internet more safe, more secure, and more reliable and resilient. And before I wind up, I just want to tell about this new initiative that we have started, which is an online portal called cyberlawuniversity.com, where I'm offering about 37 courses online on cyber law, cybercrime, cybersecurity, IoT, blockchain, and AI. And these courses have already been done by more than 28,500 professionals from 174 countries, speaking 53 national languages, all telling us that the need for capacity building will continue to keep on getting enhanced with the passage of time. All said and done, my final concluding remarks that 2023 promises to be an unprecedented yet an uncertain year. Therefore, constant due diligence, care, and caution will have to be the mantra for all stakeholders for protecting themselves and their data, protecting their digital present and their digital future, and protecting their digital reputations from constant onslaughts of cyber crimes, cybersecurity breaches as we go forward. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure talking with you. And with that, it's over to you, Vandana.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing the wonderful insights. We were glad to have you here.